tires are flat, and the license plate was stolen before I ever saw the thing. The radio antenna is snapped in half. One of the side mirrors is hanging on by a single screw, and I'm fairly certain there's a family of raccoons living in the trunk, considering the noises that come from there sometimes. I rub my temples as I walk past the beater car, take a deep breath, then let it out slowly before I push open the gas station door. The electronic chime rings, and Denny looks up from the oil-stained counter where he's busy reading yet another paperback western. "Who even writes those things anymore?" I ask, then head straight for the door opposite the front door. "Somebody," Denny mumbles without looking up. I duck through the door and into the men's room. Careful to make sure it's dry, I toss my backpack into the sink and take off my shoes, then my jeans. I pull my coveralls out of my backpack, freshly washed, because I am not like Denny and happy to smell of grease, sweat, and parts cleaner 24/7. With coveralls zipped up and my jeans in my backpack, I step out of the bathroom and am not surprised to see Denny still reading. "What's on the schedule tonight?" I ask. "I did the brakes on the Jensen's Volvo," he replies. "Great," I say. "How about the rear wiring harness to Mrs. Knowles' Cadillac?" Denny smirks. "Denny, you were supposed to do that today," I say as I walk around the back of the counter and tuck my backpack onto a shelf. "Sergey assigned it to you." "It got busy," Denny replies, his nose still in the book. On a bad day, one where my mood isn't exactly chipper, I would have yanked that book out of his hands and thrown it across the convenience store waiting area. Here at A+ American Service Station, we handle it all. Being about an hour-and-a-half drive from the closest grocery store, auto shop, or anything really, means A+ is the place locals go to when they need something. Especially if that something is beer, salty snacks, or a not-so-quick oil change. Sergey opened the gas station back in the 90s when he found himself stranded in this southeast corner of Oregon. That's all I know about the guy, other than he hired me a little over a year ago as a mechanic and store clerk for the graveyard shift. "What's Sergey gonna do with that car out there?" I ask. "What car?" Danny replies, not looking up from his book. "The one out by the side of the station," I say. "The one you walk by every time you get to work." "That thing?" Danny shrugs. "It's been here since I started. I think Sergey brought it over from Russia." "Is that where he's from?" "Who?" "Sergey." "What about him?" "Russia. Is that where he's from?" "Maybe. Or Ukraine or Belarus or one of those old Soviet satellites." "Satellites?" "That's what they used to call them. Satellite countries or whatever. Maybe he's from Yugoslavia." "Is that even a country?" "Used to be." Denny shrugs once more. "Fuck if I know. Why are you asking all these questions?" "I only asked two," I say and roll my eyes. "I asked about the car. Then I asked if Sergey was Russian." Without looking up from his book, Denny says, "My theory? He's Russian mob and double-crossed someone you don't double-cross. It's the only theory that explains a person willingly moving to this ass end of nowhere. High desert, scrub brush and cattle, cowboys and shit-kickers. Hellhole of a place." "You think he's mob?" "Was mob, maybe." "What about the car?" "You ever looked closely at it?" "Yeah, each time I walk past it." "Nah, I mean look close. You even know what make it is?" "It's a Toyota or something." "No, man. It's some Toyota knockoff from one of those old Soviet countries. One of the satellites. Bingo," he says, and snaps his fingers and closes his book. "Damn, this is a good one." He shakes it in my face and I back up a step. "You clocking in or what?" he asks me. "You have to clock out first," I say. Sergey doesn't like me to clock in until Danny clocks out. Because apparently he's not just running from the Russian mob, he's cheap as hell too. Denny clocks out, then looks me up and down. "So Ike, how's things?" "Seriously?" I ask and shake my head. Yeah, seriously," Danny says as he tucks the book into his coveralls pocket. "Should I not ask you how you're doing?" "You haven't asked me how I'm doing once since I started working here," I say. Huh. Well, sorry about that, he says, and squeezes past me to grab his hoodie off a hook on the back wall. And sorry I didn't get to Mrs. Knowles' Cadillac. It was real busy today. Not so busy that you don't have time to read, I say. True, he replies, and nods, then yanks his hoodie on over his dirty coveralls. He gets stuck halfway. Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? He mutters from under the hoodie. A little help, Ike? Hold on, I say, and help tug the hoodie down around his torso. Thanks, Ike, Denny says. There's some leftover pizza in the cooler, and a half rack of Coors accidentally got smashed. I already wrote it down for Sergey. Should be 2 or 3 left in the cooler too, if you get thirsty. Thanks, I say, knowing he was the one who accidentally smashed the half rack of beer. I have no idea why Sergey doesn't fire his ass. Hey, you think Sergey would let me work on that old beater? I ask as I open the till and count the cash and change in there. Busy day, my ass. There's only $60 more than the base amount the till starts with every morning. Must have been a bunch of credit card purchases today, I say and give Denny a hard stare. Could have been, he says and shrugs. So, you think Sergey would let me fix the car up? No, Denny says and keeps the shrug streak going. You should probably let it go. I'd buy it, obviously. I mean, if he sells it to you, it won't be to you. What does that mean? Why wouldn't he sell it to me? I ask. Because he doesn't like you, Denny says. Sergey likes me, I say. I just don't kiss his ass. Sergey likes his ass kissed, Denny says and shrugs again. Kiss his ass, get a car. It's how things work, Ike. Not that I think you'll ever get that car. He frowns at me. Have you even looked it over? A little. Couldn't have looked too hard if you didn't notice it's not a Toyota, Denny says, 1 foot already out the front door. He pauses and looks back at me. What do you want with it anyway? To drive, I say. You have a car. Nancy doesn't, and she really needs one in Eugene. I thought those hippies had perfected public transportation, Denny says with a laugh. She wants to be able to go up to Portland and Seattle on weekends with friends, I reply. And a 20-year-old should have a car. I guess, he says. Well, tell your sister hi for me when you talk to her next. Not gonna happen, I say. You are 10 years older than her. What's age got to do with saying hello? Everything when it comes from you, Den, I say and flip him off. Now get the fuck out so I can get to work. He looks around at the complete and total lack of business, confused. Mrs. Knowles' Cadillac, I explain. Still needs the rear wiring harness thanks to you. Oh, right, he says, then leaves without even thanking me for doing his job. Not that I should complain. Sergey did me a solid when he gave me this job a year ago, even if it is the graveyard shift. But at least I don't have to work weekends. Sergey handles that. I settle my ass into the cracked leather seat of the old bar stool we keep behind the counter. I should go work on Mrs. Knowles' Cadillac right away. Replacing a wiring harness is not an easy job. It's simple, sure, since all you have to do is disconnect the wires, take out the old harness, put in a new one, and reconnect the wires. Simple. Easy? Hell no. Do you know how many wires there are in the rear of a Cadillac? A lot. There are a lot of wires. And you have to get that harness tight up against the frame, or after a while, the car's vibrations loosen the whole fucking thing. Simple, yes. Easy, no. Which is why I sit here on this stool and stare at the door to the shop. We have 2 bays in there, and Mrs. Knowles' Cadillac is in one of them. The other is empty. My mind drifts to the old beater and the fact my little sister really needs a car. I should call Sergey, I say out loud. The phone rings and I jump. I grab the cracked and yellowed handset off the wall. Hey Plus, this is Ike. How can I help you? I answer. Ike. Sergey's gruff voice shouts in my ear. You are there? Yeah, Sergey, I'm here. It's time for my shift. Denny has left. Denny has left. Did you need something? I do, he says, then the phone goes quiet. You want to tell me what you need?
Mrs. Knowles called me,
he says.
Denny didn't call her this afternoon. Is her car done?
No.
No?
No.
And why not?
Denny didn't work on it. He left it for me to do.
Ah, I see.
He says, and lets out a long sigh.
And have you done it?
No, I just got here. I was getting settled in.
What's to settle?
He says, then immediately says,
Never mind. Get it done. She has to visit her niece tomorrow. Have it ready by morning.
That's the plan.
Stick to the plan then. Good night, Ike.
Wait, hold on.
What?
That car on the side of the station?
What about it?
Are you going to do anything with it?
Like what?
Are you going to fix it up? If not, could I give it a try? My sister needs...
Forget the car.
He hangs up. I pull the handset away from my ear and stare at it for a second. Then I hang it up on the wall and glance again at the shop door. Better get this over with, I say, and head that way. The shop is not a modern automotive experience. The stacks of tires in the corner are older than me. If I took the one off the top, the rest would probably crumble to dust. There are drums of old motor oil that go back to the previous century, and I don't mean the 20th. But there's Mrs. Knowles' Cadillac, ready and waiting. First things first, I need to make sure the new wiring harness arrived. I search around the shop for a few minutes, since Denny never organizes any of the shipments. His thought on the matter is if it already comes in a box, then why take it out of the box and put it on a shelf or in a different box when you know it's in the box it came in? Denny's is a mind that has two gears. Try to do as little work as possible and read all of the Western novels ever written. It's a simple mind, even simpler than putting in a new wiring harness. I find the box stuffed down under one of the workbenches and I open it. The new harness looks right and the part number matches the Cadillac's repair manual. So I get it out and do a quick test because I trust parts manufacturers about as much as I trust Denny. Current runs through the harness, so I place it over on a workbench, then turn and stare at Mrs. Knowles' Cadillac. Now for the fun part. I go for the trunk first and start to peel back the upholstery in there in order to get to the old wiring harness. I have the harness mostly exposed when the station phone rings. I tuck a piece of upholstery under itself so it doesn't bend back over and cover everything up again, then hurry to the far wall. A+, this is Ike. How can I help you?
Hey,
My little sister says. Although, at 21, she's not so little anymore.
you aren't answering your cell.
I'm at work, I say, trying to keep the duh out of my voice. No signal here, remember?
Right.
How are you? Everything good at school?
Yeah, it's U of O, so, you know.
She replies, and I can hear the shrug in her voice. You called me, Nancy, I say, looking over at Mrs. Knowles' Cadillac and the work I still have to do. What's up?
Well, there's a concert in Portland at the Wonder.
Cool. Who's playing?
You wouldn't know them.
I'm 5 years older than you, Nancy, not 5 generations.
Have you heard of Lucky's Grave?
A million responses go through my head at once. Every one of them is a lie. No, you got me there.
Yeah, well, they're playing at the Wonder and they never come to the West Coast, so I really want to go.
She says in a rush. Cool. Sounds like a blast. Do you need me to Venmo you some money? You should have gotten the payment from the trust last week. Is it all gone already? Is that why you're calling?
No, I don't need money.
She's holding something back, so I ask. Who are you riding with? I can hear her clearing her throat, then she coughs. Damn it. I know that little cough of hers. Nance, I can't give you a ride. There's just no way.
I don't need you to give me a ride. I just need to borrow your car.
Oh, is that all? I laugh. Nance, I need my car. You grew up out here. It's not exactly where you can walk from place to place.
Right, yeah, I know.
Unless you're asking me to come to Portland with you, I say and smile.
What? No, I wasn't thinking that.
She responds quickly. Then no can do, Nance.
You can stay at my place for the weekend. My roommates are out of town and Carlos is coming with me. You'd have the place to yourself. Come around Eugene for a while.
Get some good weed.
Maybe meet a hippie chick who's into loser mechanics. Get your grind on.
Never say that to me again, I say and laugh. Nance, I love you, but it's not happening. It's a 6-hour drive just to Eugene alone. One way. I work Friday night, Nance, so I'd have to leave right after my shift. Do you really want me to drive 6 hours across the fucking desert, over the Cascades, and down into the valley on NoSleep? I don't have to explain to her why that's a bad idea. It's how our parents died. Driving all day and all night, trying to get home to the ranch. A ranch that was sold and everything put into a trust for my sister's college expenses. I guess they figured I could handle shit on my own. And they weren't wrong. But even with all that planning, no one figured Nancy would need a car since the trust is explicitly for educational expenses only. Tuition, rent, food, books. That stuff. Shit. The trustee even said her Uber account is covered, just not the purchase of a car. Nancy doesn't say anything for a long while. I let the silence hang between us.
No,
she finally admits.
I don't want you to drive after work.
The sadness in her voice is heartbreaking. Is she playing it up? A little, yeah. Nancy is good at that. But I'm also her big brother, so I'm good at caving in when she plays it up. My eyes go to the door that leads out of the shop and into the side parking lot where my car is, and where that old beater is. Do you think you can meet me halfway?
That's farther than Portland,
she says.
If I could meet you halfway, I wouldn't need your car at all. I'd Uber there, but Uncle Asshole says that only local Uber rides count. And he won't let me buy a train ticket either. He says that's not educational.
Uncle Asshole is Uncle Walter, our dad's brother. He really is an asshole, and I honestly think he only agreed to oversee the trust because he thinks there's a way he can get to some of the money. Tell Uncle Asshole you want to change your major from poli-sci to urban planning, and riding the train helps you understand a community's transportation needs, I suggest, only half kidding.
I already tried that,
she says and huffs.
He didn't buy it.
My eyes go from the door to Mrs. Knowles' Cadillac and back to the door. Forget the car, is what Sergey said. Except I can't. Give me a day, all right? I say. It won't solve the driving after my shift problem, but it'll solve your no car problem.
What does that mean?
She asks. Give me a day, I repeat. I'll figure it out. You need to leave 1 on Saturday to get to the concert.
By like 4 at the latest.
Okay. My eyes leave Mrs. Knowles' Cadillac and stay on the side door. I'll call you tomorrow and let you know if it's doable.
If what is doable?
She asks.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I may have a car for you, I say. That's what I'm talking about. But if it's gonna happen, then I need to get to work right now.
Oh, cool. Okay, thanks,
she says, and her voice is all happiness and cheer.
I knew you'd make this happen. Thanks, Ike.
Then she hangs up. Okay, bye, I say into the phone as the dial tone rings in my ear. I hang it up, then take a deep breath and walk over to the side door. I stare out of the inset window and can just see the ass end of the beater car. I way overpromised on this one. What was I thinking? I don't even know if I can get that car up and running. First, it may be truly dead. Some cars you can't resurrect. Second, if it can be brought back to life, that's assuming the parts it needs are in stock. Third, Sergey told me to forget the car, and here I am, not only not forgetting the car, but actively working out how to fix it, then get it to my sister. Fourth, I don't know, but I'm sure there's at least one more reason why this is a bad idea. Oh, right, I'm broke as shit, and it's doubtful I have enough to give Sergey, even if I can convince him to sell it to me. But a sad sister overrides all of those reasons. Fuck. I'll get to you, I promise, I say to Mrs. Knowles' Cadillac. Then I open the side door and step out into the cool night. I walk over to the beater and circle it a few times, taking in all of the problems I'd noticed before and adding a few more problems to the inventory. We already have bad tires, no license plate, a broken antenna, which doesn't matter a whole lot, and a dangling side mirror. Add to that list a cracked passenger window, a rear bumper that's being held on with actual baling wire, and a muffler that didn't get the luxury of baling wire and is partially resting on the pavement. I haven't even opened the hood yet. But before I do that, the trunk. If an actual raccoon family is living in there, then they need to go before I get to work. Last thing I want is Mama Raccoon jumping me and going for my eyes while I'm trying to fix the damn thing up. There is one question I haven't asked myself yet, and that is whether or not I can get the thing working in time for me to drive it to Eugene. It needs work. A lot of work. So it may be a lost cause anyway, just because there aren't enough hours in the day to put it all back together. But trunk first. I go around to the back and can just see the outline of where a car's name had been years ago on the trunk lid. Definitely Cyrillic lettering and not English. I trace the ghost of the name with the tip of my finger, then raise my hand and bring it down hard and fast on the top of the trunk.
Wakey, wakey, raccoons!
I shout and bang the trunk again. I jump back instantly and eye the trunk warily. I could have sworn I heard something scramble around inside there. Great, I say to myself, and turn back to the shop. There are fucking raccoons. I go back inside the shop and grab a large pry bar. I'm about to walk outside again when I realize I'm wasting a lot of time. I need to get myself organized. So I find an empty cart and load it up with all the tools and things I think I may need. Ratchet sets, wrenches, hammers, a spare battery and battery charger, engine oil, brake fluid, and transmission fluid. You name it, I load the cart up with it. Then I wheel it all outside and park the cart up by the hood where I'll need it the most. I snag the pry bar off the cart and go back to the trunk, where I bang the bar against the trunk lid and listen. All I hear is the metal reverberating. No scrambling, no scratching, no nothing. Maybe I imagined the sounds before. Maybe. With the tip of the pry bar jammed up under the lip of the trunk lid, I press down, leveraging my weight against the trunk's old lock. I'm 5 seconds from giving up when there's a loud clunk and the trunk lid pops open, swinging all the way up so I can get a good look at what's inside. What the fuck? I mutter as I look at the crap the trunk is filled with. There are a few blankets all piled up into a kind of bed or nest. Sure, a raccoon could have dragged those inside somehow. I just don't know how. They're big blankets. And there's only one large depression in the middle of the blankets, so if it is raccoons, it's singular. One raccoon, not a whole family. But the blankets aren't the weird part. Strewn all over the trunk are food wrappers and bags. Chips, candy, jerky, popcorn, crackers, seeds, nuts, whatever. It looks like someone went through the station's shelves and grabbed a little of everything. And there's a smell to the trunk that isn't musky like an animal, but pungent and strong like a person's stink. A fucking squatter, I say, then grip the bar tight and look around. This side of the station is mostly shadows. The lights from the gas pumps out front barely reach over here. Plenty of shadows for someone to slip into unseen and wait. Wait for what? I don't know. I'm not a squatter expert. Holding my breath, I do a quick circuit around the entire station. I find no one and see nothing other than the usual junk around the place. Before I can head around to the side, headlights shine on the station, and I turn to see a BMW pull in next to one of the pumps. Thank God, a man exclaims as he gets out of his car and walks around to the pump. I was running on fumes. I didn't know if I'd make it to a gas station or not. Yeah, next one is 80 miles, I say and head his direction, setting the pry bar down so I don't spook the guy. The vibe is a little chainsaw massacre-y around here already, so no need to add to it. This thing not take credit cards? The guy asks as he stares at the pump. Nope, I say and hold out my hand. But I do. How much do you need? Fill her up, he says, and reaches for the pump handle. Nope, I say again, and point over at the sign that says, from out of state, you can't pump your own gas. I see that the front license plate is from California and smile at the guy. I'll get it filling up and I can take your card inside, I say, and ease around the pump so I can take the gas handle myself. I smile at him again. There are snacks and drinks inside. Oregon, the man says and chuckles. I cannot believe you still don't let people pump their own gas. Jobs, I say and keep the smile going. Yeah, well, have Oregonians thought of going to college? He asks, then waves a hand at me.
Never mind. Is there a pisser inside too?
The answer to that question is yes. But instead, I say,
There's one around the side. Door should be unlocked. If not, then give me a shout, and I'll get the key from inside. Thanks, pal,
he says and claps me on the shoulder as I place the gas nozzle into the gas tank.
Be right back. Sounds good,
I say and watch him walk away and around the side of the station. We call the side bathroom the Cali Crapper because it's where we try to direct all the California douchebags who come through. Not that many do. Mostly we get Northwest folks heading to Reno, but Californians come by now and again, and they are always just like this guy. So we send them to the bathroom we never clean. Technically, I think the County Board of Health condemned it and wants Sergey to board it over, so customers use only the sanitary bathroom inside. But even though Sergey doesn't have the history we Oregonians do with California, he isn't a fan either.
Soft people,
he'd say after one drives away. Can't argue with that logic. The gas tank is about 8 gallons full when I hear a surprised shout, a pained scream, and an ominous silence.
Guess the door was locked,
I say, thinking the guy is just frustrated and pitching a fit. I lock the handle so it keeps pumping on its own and walk around the side of the station. The bathroom door is ajar, and I can see dark stains on the pavement leading away. Cautiously, I step to the door and ease it open with the toe of my shoe. The single bulb hangs from the ceiling, swaying back and forth, and gives off a dark red light. The whole bathroom is splattered with blood. It's dripping, not just from the light bulb, but from the ceiling itself. Rivers of it run down the walls and into pools on the floor. In one of the pools, I see something that I recognize, but really wish I didn't. It's a private part. It's the California guys.
Oh, fuck,
I say, and back my ass away quickly. Then I look down at my feet and the wide trail of blood that leads from the bathroom and over to the beater car. A beater car that I know had an open trunk lid when I left it. The trunk lid is now closed, and the blood trail stretches up from the pavement, over the bumper attached by baling wire, and inside the trunk.
This is not good,
I say and look around. There's nothing, just me and the night. It's so quiet that I hear the gas pump click from around the front. I can also hear a different noise, a sound like, chewing?
Call someone,
I say to myself. But what do I say? I think someone crawled out of the trunk of this abandoned car that's always parked here, that it crawled into the bathroom and ripped some California things off, then dragged the body back into the trunk. I'm masking a lot of assumptions. I assume it crawls. Maybe it walks upright instead. I also assume the private part belongs to the Californian. But I didn't check the outside bathroom before I came on shift. Maybe Denny murdered some poor dude and ripped that guy's Johnson off. Of course, I don't think Denny did it. He'd have to get off his ass to kill and maim someone, and we all know that's not happening. The store. I need to hurry inside and see if the California guy is shopping for snacks. That's gotta be it. He must have gone around the opposite side of the station. I just missed him is all. And that scream? A coyote. They're everywhere out here. Just a coyote is all. The blood? Well, I'll go with coyote again. The penis is harder to explain, so I try not to think of it. Ready to not be staring at a blood trail, I race around to the front door and burst inside.
Your car is gassed up,
I announce, but there's no one there. Hurrying to the inside bathroom, I knock on the door.
You okay in there?
I call through the door. When there's no answer, I yank it open and see instantly that it's empty and that no one has used it since I changed clothes.
Fuck,
I whisper.
4836,
I say to no one. If the guy was here, I'd get ready for an argument over the cost of gas. But he's not here. I double check and peer into his car. Nope, not here. My eyes are drawn to the side of the station and the bathroom and the blood trail and the beater car. I fetch my pry bar where I left it and walk slowly around the station. Yep, the blood trail is still there. But this time the car's trunk is open. Not all the way open, just a little bit. Shit, the guy got hurt. Obviously really hurt since he lost a penis. And then he stumbled over to the car and fell inside the trunk that I left open.
Hold on!
I shout and run to the back of the beater car.
Sorry! Oh shit, man! Sorry!
I yank the trunk open and scream. Oh, I'll admit it. I scream and scream and scream. I found the California guy. The man is stuffed into the trunk, blood soaking into the nest of blankets. His clothes are shredded, his head is backward, one arm is missing, and his crotch is nothing but ground meat.
Jesus!
I say, then turn and throw up. The 2 microwave burritos I had for dinner are now on the pavement at my feet. Several dry heaves later, I force myself to look inside the trunk again. Oh yeah, this California dude is not going to get fixed with fresh wheatgrass and Reiki sessions. I'm suddenly so tired and exhausted, yet I feel wound and amped too. Is this shock? Am I in shock? Do you get shock from seeing a mutilated corpse? How does shock even work? I don't know, but the pry bar feels so heavy in my hand, and I want to let it fall from my grip and clatter to the ground. Then I'd slump to the pavement and maybe sleep all this away. Just curl up into a ball and close my eyes and wake up when Denny comes in for his shift. We'll have a laugh about how there really isn't anything in the trunk and how I dreamt it all. That'll be great. But none of that happens, because I keep the pry bar gripped tight and then grip it even tighter when I see what I see. Bite marks on the man's body, like all over his body. I follow them with my eyes, then I freeze. A pair of eyes is staring at me from the other side of the California dude's body.
Holy fuck!
I scream, then turn and run away as fast as I can. I'm through the station's side door in a flash. I spin, lock the door, then raise the pry bar above my head, ready for the owner of those eyes to come crashing through the door's window and attack me. Except there is nothing on the other side of the door's window. Outside, barely visible because of the light difference, is the beater car and its bloody trunk. I can barely make out the shape of the thing, but what I think I can make out are 2 huge eyes looking right at me. I look right at them, the pry bar still above my head, just in case. I'm not sure what the just in case is, but just in case. The eyes don't blink. I blink several times in the eternity we stare at each other, but its eyes never blink, not once. Then a spindly arm reaches out and up, its hand with impossibly long fingers grasping the edge of the trunk lid. Slowly, the trunk closes, and I hear the faintest sound of the latch clicking. I don't even want to know what other sounds are coming from that car, as the image of all the bite marks pops into the forefront of my mind.
I'm calling the sheriff,
I say, and race to the phone on the wall. It's hard to dial and hold the handset with the pry bar in my hand, so I tuck it up under my armpit and place the call.
Malheur County Sheriff's Office. How can I help you?
A woman's voice answers.
Tina, it's Ike Burns out at the A+.
I basically screech into the phone.
Oh, hey, Ike. How are you?
Tina replies.
Bad, Tina. Real bad.
I say.
There's something out here, and I think it just killed a customer. Something? Like what kind of something?
She asks.
Like a coyote or a bear? Is it a cougar? Do I need to call animal control? Oh, crud. Clayton is out of town visiting his in-laws with his wife. How big is the cougar, Ike? It's not a fucking cougar!
I shout.
It's some creature or something, and it ripped the guy's dick right off.
There's silence for a second, then Tina clears her voice.
Ike, have you been doing drugs?
She asks.
What? No, I haven't been doing drugs.
I shout.
Tina, listen. There is a dead man in a car trunk, a dick in the outside bathroom, and some weird fucking creature in the trunk with the dead guy, and I think it's eating him.
More silence.
Why do you keep talking about dicks being ripped off?
Tina asks.
Because one has been!
I yell.
Aren't you listening to me? There is something out in that car and it killed a guy. I need the sheriff out here right away. Okay.
And she really drags that word out.
You're at work now? At the A+? Yes! Calm down, Ike,
she says.
There is no need to shout. Like fuck there isn't! Ike, if you want me to get the sheriff out there, then I need you to calm down. Can you do that for me?
she asks.
Can you calm down so I can ask a few questions?
I don't fucking know. Maybe? This shit is freaking me out, Tina. I feel like I'm having a heart attack.
You're not having a heart attack, Ike.
She says.
It might be a panic attack. Can you sit down?
My eyes dart to the outside door.
No way I'm sitting down,
I say.
Not with that thing out there.
The thing that ripped the Californian's dick off? That thing?
She asks, and I swear to God that there's laughter in her voice.
This isn't funny, Tina!
No, it's not at all.
She says. But I know what I'm hearing, and it is the beginning of a giggle.
Tina, please,
I say, trying to get myself under control. I take a deep breath and let it out.
You have to believe me.
I do, Ike. I do.
She replies.
And I just texted the sheriff. He'll be swinging by as soon as possible.
As soon as possible? When the hell will that be? Can you give me a ballpark?
I ask, my eyes still on the door's window.
Well, he's over by Rome right now,
she says.
And that's a bit of a haul from the A+. Once he finishes up there, it's gonna take him more than an hour to get to you. I'd say you're looking at 3, maybe 4 hours?
4 fucking hours? 4 fucking hours! I can't wait 4 fucking hours!
Well, you're just going to have to,
she says, and hangs up.
Why is everyone hanging up on me tonight? Fuck them all!
Without looking away from the door's window, I ease myself around to the door that leads into the store. Carefully, I reach behind me and turn the knob, then back into the store.
Oh good, someone is here,
a woman says. I cry out and whip around, the pry bar raised and ready to strike. The woman cries out too and stumbles away from me right into a display of Slim Jims. The meat sticks go crashing to the floor, and so does the woman.
Oh shit,
I say, and hurry to her.
I'm so sorry. You scared me and... Get away from me!
She screams and kicks her feet out, connecting with one of my shins. Pain races up my leg, and it's my turn to stumble back. I lose my balance and grab for a shelf, but miss and fall on my ass. As I sit there with my tailbone stinging, the woman gets up and sprints out of the store.
I'll be out in a second,
I say, and slowly get to my feet. Then I walk over to the front door and watch as she races down the road in a red Honda SUV.
Or not.
There's a crash from out in the shop, and I look down at the pry bar in my hand.
To hell with this,
I say, and hurry around the corner to the safe sitting on the ground, tucked into the corner. I whirl the wheel, then stop at 0. It takes me 2 tries to get the combination right before I can crank the handle and yank the safe open. Inside is extra cash and change, various papers that Sergey keeps stashed, and a Smith & Wesson .45 semi-automatic handgun. I grab the gun and close the safe, whirling the wheel to lock it. Then I slowly stand up and peek over the counter toward the door to the shop. I think I see movement and duck back down. But maybe my eyes are messing with me. Maybe there was nothing in the shop. I did lock the side door. It can't pick locks, right? Of course not. And it can't break the glass in the outside door's window. That glass is reinforced with steel mesh. I ease up once more and watch the door to the shop. I wait. I count to 100, then 200. When I reach 500, I stand fully up and leave the counter. A beep from out by the pumps grabs my attention. I look out there and just see the last flash of the headlights. Someone just locked the BMW. Then it beeps and the lights flash again. Someone just unlocked it. Or the other way around. I don't know if the first beep locked it or not. A third beep, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth. The guy's keys. Someone has the guy's keys. I turn and face the door to the shop. With the gun in my hand, I decide to go have a look at the beater car. But no way am I going outside to do it. So I walk to the shop door, open it slowly, thrust the gun out in front of me, and jump out to surprise anything waiting for me. There's only Mrs. Knowles' Cadillac. Slowly, I creep toward the side door. When I reach it, I put my back against the wall and take a deep breath. Then I whip my head around fast, look out the window, and whip my head back, my chest heaving with fear and panic. I couldn't see shit, The light difference means all I see out the window is my own fucking reflection. I scoot along the wall until I come to the light switches. One by one, I turn out the banks of fluorescent lights that hang over the repair bays. Then I scoot back to the door and its window, take another deep breath, and whip around to look outside.
Oh fuck,
I whisper as I stare at a monster sitting on the ground outside the beater car's trunk, a set of keys in its hands. Those hands. The fingers must be twice as long as mine and the palms twice as wide. But the arms themselves are as skinny as the pry bar I'd been carrying around most of tonight. The shoulders are narrow and the neck is long and thin. The face is drawn, like a horse, except instead of going out, it goes down. Its skin is gray and dry like an elephant's, but doesn't look thick. No, it looks like I could tear right through the skin with a hard poke of my finger. The thing is naked, and I can see its bits. It's male, for sure. The legs are just lower versions of the arms. Just like with its arms, the legs are skinny as the pry bar and end in wide feet with impossibly long toes. The keys jingle and reflect bits of light as the thing shakes and stabs at them with its fingers. Then I hear a beep and the thing pauses and looks toward the station. I duck down out of sight. It's playing with the BMW's key fob. More beeps ring out, then it goes quiet. I wait and wait, but no more BMW noises. Slowly, I stand and look out the window.
motherfucker!
I scream as two huge eyes stare back at me from right outside the door. I'm running. I'm scrambling back inside. I'm locking the door to the shop. I'm locking the front door to the store. I'm thinking of barricading the front door with everything and anything I think might be heavy enough to keep that thing out. Sheriff Rip Hansen's police cruiser eases into the station's lot and pulls up on the opposite side of the pumps as the BMW. Oh, thank God. No way was I going to make it 3 or 4 hours. Sheriff Hansen is not a small man. He's not tall, but he's not small. As I watch him slide his bulk out of his cruiser, a thought hits me. The thing is out of the trunk.
Sheriff!
I shout and struggle to unlock the front door. The bolt catches and I have to set the gun down on the counter so I can shove and turn, pull and turn, shove and turn until the bolt loosens and the door opens.
Sheriff! Ike!
Sheriff Hansen says, putting his hat on his head and hitching up his pants as his equipment belt threatens to pull his trousers down past his hips.
What's this shit about you finding some guy's dick in the bathroom? There's a monster out there!
I shout and wave him toward me.
Get in here now! Are you high, boy?
He asks, tilting his hat back on his head as he scratches his widow's peak.
You better not be high, or I swear I will put you in the county lockup for a long while. No trial or nothing. Just make you sit there and think about your life. What? No, I'm not on drugs, but you gotta get in here. That thing is outside with you. Well, good,
he says and spits on the ground.
I'll have a talk with it and see what we can get sorted. You're gonna… what?
Then it hits me. Fucking Tina. She was fucking with me when she said the sheriff was all the way out by Rome. Then she must have told the sheriff I was high or something, so he came here to bust my balls, not to save me from a freak that eats people.
You have to listen to me,
I say, and take a couple of steps outside the store.
I am not high. I haven't even had a drink. I am stone cold sober, and I am having a fucked up night. Some fucking thing killed the man who owns that BMW, then dragged his body into the trunk of that car that Sergey won't get rid of. There was fucking blood everywhere, and he had bite marks on him. Sergey had bite marks on him? No, the dead Californian. Only good Californian if you ask me,
Sheriff Hansen says and laughs. He turns around and points at the BMW.
You say that's his car? Yes.
He turns back to me, then points toward the side of the station.
And a thing or creature or whatever killed the guy that owns this BMW and drug him into what? Into a car trunk? Yes! That's quite a story, Ike,
he says, and I can hear the dismissal in his voice. He doesn't believe a word of what I'm saying.
Sheriff Hansen, please listen to me. Oh, I'm listening to you, Ike,
he replies.
I'm just having a hard time understanding you. You aren't saying a man or animal did this, but some creature thing. Am I right? I'm not fucking crazy, and I'm not fucking high. Go see for your own goddamn self then.
I take a couple of steps back and then close and lock the front door. Sheriff Hansen is out there shaking his head, and I watch him reach up and press the button on his handset that's strapped to his shoulder. He leans his face in close the way cops do and starts speaking, but I can't hear the words. I do see him laugh though, more than a few times. He lets go of the button and rolls his head on his neck. Then he turns and walks over to the BMW. The pumps and his cruiser are in the way, so I can't see much. But every once in a while he stands straight so I can keep track of his progress. When he's behind the BMW, he speaks into his radio again, probably calling in the license plate number. Then he does another full circle of the BMW, puts his hands on his hips, shakes his head, and looks my way. He points and waves for me to come inside. I shake my head no. No fucking way I'm going out there. He waves at me again. I shake my head no again, but this time with a lot more force. His shoulders slump and he's back at his radio. The phone rings. I look over at it. When I look back to the sheriff, he's nodding and pointing. I go to the phone.
Hello?
Please hold for Sheriff Hansen.
Tina says. Then there are some clicks and I hear a lot of static.
Ike, get your ass out here right this fucking second.
Sheriff Hansen barks over the phone. I lean to the side and can see him out the window, his hand on his radio, his face close to the handset.
Sheriff, please. It isn't safe out there.
I'm going to count to 3. And if you aren't out that door and standing in front of me by the time I hit 3, well then, boy, you are going to be in a world of hurt. Do you understand me?
I saw a fucking dick in a pool of blood, asshole. Do you understand me?
I slam the phone down and return to the front door. The sheriff is glaring at me. He stays that way for a few seconds, then seems to come to a decision. He puts his hand on the butt of his revolver and walks casually toward the side of the gas station and the outside bathroom.
Oh man, oh man, oh man,
I say over and over and over as I wait for him to come back into sight. Minutes tick by. A gunshot goes off, followed by several more. I realize I left the .45 on the counter and I scramble to grab it, trip over my feet, fall forward, and slam my nose into the edge of the counter. Stinging and bleeding, I manage to get the handgun, then turn around just as the sheriff slams into the front door. He's covered in blood. One of his eyes is dangling from its root and slapping against his left cheek.
Open the door!
He screams at me as he pounds his fists against the glass. I hurry over and start to turn the bolt, but he stops pounding, and I see his mouth go wide just before a fountain of blood explodes out of it, along with a long-fingered hand. The hand hits the door's glass and withdraws quickly, leaving streaks of blood behind. For a split second, I can see through the sheriff's head all the way out the other side. 2 eyes stare back at me. Then the sheriff's body falls to the ground, and I see what I'm up against. Standing to its full height, the creature, or whatever it is, has to be close to 7 feet tall. It's so thin that it is basically all limbs and a skinny torso, and 2 huge eyes.
It's a fucking alien!
I grunt as I back away from the front door. The thing cocks its head at me like a fucking cocker spaniel.
Yeah, I'm talking about you!
I shout at it as I raise the handgun.
You're a fucking alien!
The thing blinks at me a few times, then shakes its head and shrugs. Then it points at something inside the store.
There are more cops on the way!
I scream at it.
You just fucked up, you E.T. piece of shit!
It continues to point at something in the store. I glance in the direction the thing is indicating and see a display of Hostess Twinkies right next to a display of chili cheese Fritos.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I shout, looking back at the thing.
You want me to give you some snacks?
I cock the hammer back on the gun.
How about you snack on some fucking lead?
I shout, then squeeze the trigger. Nothing happens. And by nothing, I mean the trigger doesn't squeeze. It's stiff as a board.
What the fuck?
I mumble as I look at the gun.
The fucking safety. I left the safety.
Glass shatters and the front door caves in. The thing steps over the debris and strides right toward me.
Fuck, fuck, fuck!
I yell as I scramble away, putting the chip aisle between us. My back is against one of the drink coolers,
And I really wish this station was like the bigger convenience stores where you can actually step through the drink cooler into the big walk-in storage cooler. I'd be through these doors and hiding in a stack of monster drinks so fucking fast. But no, this shithole only has freestanding coolers like you'd find in an office break room. Sergey doesn't exactly believe in spending money to make money, so even the coolers we have are older than me. The thing pauses in front of the two displays, its eyes going back and forth between the Twinkies and the chili cheese Fritos. It finally grabs 4 packs of Twinkies and a bag of Fritos. Then it looks up at me, blinks a couple more times, turns, and walks out the broken front door, stepping right on the sheriff's back as it goes. The breath I didn't realize I'd been holding leaks out between my lips as I slowly step my way to the shop door. There is one place I can go where I should be safe, at least for a while, like until the alien son of a bitch needs more snacks. I ease myself through the door, then glance around to make sure the damn thing hasn't circled around and is waiting for me. The coast seems clear, so I sprint to my new safe haven, Mrs. Knowles' Cadillac. I'm inside and locking the doors in a flash. I scramble over the front seat and into the back, so I'm as close to center in the car as possible. I like having the space of the trunk behind me and the space of the front seats and engine block in front of me. Which reminds me, I need to take the safety off the gun explodes as I accidentally squeeze the trigger while thumbing the safety off. A hole appears in the windshield of the caddy, and I frown. Mrs. Knowles is not going to like that. I hope we can get a new windshield in before she comes to pick up the car. What the fuck am I thinking? There's a man-eating alien out there, and I'm worried about some old lady getting pissed because I accidentally shot out her windshield while hiding in her caddy? Okay, in my defense, Mrs. Knowles is scary as fuck. She even backed Sergey into a corner once, so it's a valid fear. I hold my breath and wait for the alien to burst into the shop and come for me. The thing had to have heard the gunshot. When it doesn't appear, I let the breath out slowly and start to think hard about my nightmare situation. I've been working here for a year. The car has been here the entire time. According to Denny, it's been here since before he started working for Sergey. Yet, in all this time, I haven't seen or heard anything coming from the car. I mean, that's kind of strange, right? Oh, wait, hold on. That's total bullshit. I've seen shit moving in the car. I've even heard noises, growls and grunting, a few screeches here and there. But I never worried about it because Sergey always chalked it up to a fucking family of raccoons, I say out loud. A goddamn family of raccoons. Raccoons, my ass. That damn thing has been hiding or living in the car this entire time. All right, I have a couple of options. I can wait in the caddy the rest of the night and hope the thing doesn't eat Denny when he gets here for his shift. But even though Denny is on my shit list, I don't want him to get eaten. Or I can get out of the caddy and try to make a break for it. My car is just outside the side door. I could get to it in, 30 seconds? Maybe less? Except the beater car is out there too, which probably means the killer alien is out that way. A third option is to go call the sheriff's office and report what just happened. Tina can send the damn cavalry while I wait here in the caddy. Let the deputies handle Psycho E.T. Or deputy. There's just Norman Blacker, and he's not much of a deputy. I once watched the man get confused when he tried to put ketchup under a hot dog, and instead of taking the dog out and squirting ketchup on the bun, then putting the dog back in, he flipped the bun over and the dog fell out onto the floor. He stood there for a good 10 seconds, staring down at the hot dog on the store's floor like it hadn't just happened. So really, Tina would just be sending him to his death, and I already have enough blood on my hands. Helping to get Norman killed too wouldn't make things better. Looks like I'm stuck. Then the side door opens, and a long, gray leg steps over the threshold, followed by another long, gray leg, which is followed by long, gray arms and a spindly torso. The alien is in the shop. It apparently can work doorknobs. Of course it can. I hold my breath and slink down in the back seat. If it looks over this way, the most it can see of me are my eyes and the top of my head. The thing doesn't look over at me, thank God. It does take a long, cautious look around the shop though, before it strides to the door to the store, turns the knob, and walks right in, leaving the door wide open. I scooch up and lean to the side for a better view. From what I can see, it's picking up random items off the shelf and tossing them over its shoulder. Then it finds something it wants. I can't quite see what it is, and rips into the packaging. When I see sunflower seeds fly up into the air, the mystery is solved. My eyes go to the open side door. I can get to my car. I can get to my car! As slowly as I can without wasting too much time, I unlock the caddy's doors. The loud click is deafening and I freeze, knowing the alien had to have heard it. But all I see happening inside the store are more sunflower seed bags being torn into. The alien has its back to me, so now is the time to go. I slip the rear door open and place a foot on the shop floor. The thing still hasn't noticed me. I move like I'm handling a hornet's nest, very carefully, but in a fucking hurry too. When I'm out of the caddy, I take one last look at the alien to confirm it's still munching away, which it is. Then I tiptoe as fast as humanly possible to the side door. I'm sprinting to my car the second my foot is outside the shop. I tuck the handgun into my waistband and yank open the driver's side door. I'm inside and ready to turn the ignition when it hits me. My keys are in my backpack, and my backpack is in the store on the shelf under the counter. Shit! I do not know how to hotwire a car, and I doubt my car is even hotwireable anyway. It's not new, but it's not one of those old cars where the wires are just exposed underneath. I'd have to crack open a panel or yank out some molded plastic part to get to the wires, which, again, doesn't matter, because I don't know how to hotwire a car in the first place. I stare out into the darkness beyond the hood of my car. There's a dumpster off to the right, but everything else is wide open high desert. It's scrub brush and sage for as far as my eyes can see, which is about 10 yards since it's the middle of the night. Fuck! I say and lean my head against my seat. I don't know what to do. Do I stay here? Hide outside? Do I get out and just start running? If the thing sees me, there's no place to hide. Scrub brush and sage, remember? No place to hide in the high desert. I roll my head and look out my window. Then I see a shimmer on the ground. A reflection of the little bit of light that leaks around the side of the station from the fluorescence over the gas pumps. Sitting up straight, I move my head closer to the window and squint into the gloom. Yeah, I see something shining on the ground. Looks like a couple of shiny things. Something black? Oh shit! It's the dead Californian's keys! The alien must have left them on the ground when it got up and came around to the front door! I waste no time and get out of my car. With the handgun up and the safety off, I scope out the area as I walk sideways over to the keys. When I reach the keys, I keep the gun and my eyes aimed at the station while I squat down and pat the pavement over and over until my left hand finds them. Slowly, I pick them up, not wanting them to jingle. With keys in my left hand and a gun in my right, I jog the opposite direction, going around the other side of the station, away from the outside bathroom and the trail of blood. When I get to the front corner of the station, I slow down and peer around to make sure the coast is clear. No sign of the alien. I do see Sheriff Hansen's corpse, though, and have to fight to keep my gorge down. After counting to 10, I sprint for the BMW. The sheriff's cruiser is tempting too, since I know the thing is built for speed and safety. But I do not have the time or the will to sneak over to the dead man and rummage for his keys in his blood-soaked pockets. Maybe they're clipped to his belt, but still, no time. And the body is right in front of the door, so I'd probably be seen anyway. Which, as I glance toward the front of the station, doesn't really matter anymore. The alien is standing in the broken front door and staring right at me. His eyes lock onto mine and narrow. My eyes go wide, and I try not to piss myself. I have about 3 feet to go before I'm at the driver's side door. Time stops. Then time moves so fast, my mind can barely keep up. I sprint the last 3 feet and hit the unlock button on the key fob. The BMW's lights flash and I hear the beep, then the locks click open. Yanking the driver's side door open, I jump in, slam the door, then punch the start button over and over until the BMW's engine roars to life. That's when I glance at the station and see the alien sprinting with long strides across the pavement toward me. It leaps over the sheriff's cruiser and I lose sight of it. Doesn't matter. I put the BMW in drive, release the parking brake, and slam my foot down onto the gas pedal. Just as the car's rear tires peel out, I realize I forgot something. I didn't take the gas nozzle out of the BMW's tank. A ripping and clanking noise joins the roar of the BMW's engine, and I take a quick look in the driver's side mirror and see the nozzle still in the car with a black hose dangling from it. Oh well, if Sergey gets pissed, then I'll deal with that later. I'm a little fucking busy right now. The car roars out onto the highway just as I hear a loud thunk come from the roof. Then the alien's head is upside down and right in front of me, blocking my view. It snarls and hisses at me, and I can see sunflower seed shells stuck between its teeth. Then it pounds a fist on the windshield and tiny cracks appear. I scream. I lift the gun. I aim out the windshield. The alien sees the gun, and its eyes go super wide, which is pretty damn wide considering. It pounds the windshield again, shattering it. I cover my face with my left arm since my right holds the gun, realize I am no longer steering the car, and scramble to get my left hand back onto the steering wheel. But it's too late. The car hits a pothole in the highway and swerves hard to the right, sending us racing straight for the support structure of the gas station sign. We hit the concrete block, going about 45, since the BMW never had a chance to really get up to speed on the open road. The alien goes flying off the car and slams into the sign's steel pole, its whole body bending backward and almost wrapping itself around the metal. It cries out and waves its arms in the air as it falls and lands on the crumpled hood of the BMW. I'm busy trying to wipe the blood out of my eyes after my forehead hit the steering wheel. So much for German engineering. Where the fuck was the airbag when I needed it? Good thing I was only going 45. With my left hand on my forehead, pressed hard against the cut that refuses to stop bleeding, I scramble around with my right hand, half blind and in a lot of fucking pain as I search for the handgun. Then the alien moans, and I freeze. I glance out at the hood and see the thing trying to push itself up. I also see the handgun wedged between the dash and the windshield frame. I go to snatch the gun, but pain erupts from the back of my hand as the alien reaches out and slashes my skin with its fingernails. Lines of blood well up on my hand as I yank it back to me and focus on the alien. The thing is hurt pretty bad, but not bad enough that it can't stop me from getting the gun. It tries to push up onto its hands and knees, but it wobbles, then falls back onto the hood. That's when I see that it's bleeding too. Good. The thing snarls again and groans at me. I take a glance in the rearview mirror and see the sheriff's cruiser. I still have a shot to get out of this. Leaving the gun where it is, I shove the driver's side door open, jump out of the BMW, and sprint toward the cruiser. If the keys are in there, great. If they aren't, then at least I can get inside the car and lock it down. No way the alien is getting through bulletproof glass or reinforced doors. A roar fills the night behind me, but I don't look back. I'm 3 yards from the cruiser, then 2 yards, then 1 yard. Then I'm knocked off my feet and I'm flying face first onto the pavement. I can't get my hands out in time, and the ground shreds my right cheek as I skid across the pavement. When I roll over onto my back, the alien is standing over me, straddling my hips. One of its arms is at a weird angle, and it clutches to its body. It opens its mouth and roars down at me, nasty spit flying everywhere, including down on me. It smells like chili cheese Fritos and blood. Fuck you! I yell and raise my knee up, nailing it in its alien bits. It yelps and instantly backs away from me. I don't waste the moment. I scramble up onto my feet and hurry around to the cruiser's trunk, putting the car between us. I don't know where you are from, but you need to get the fuck off my planet, you skinny fuck! It frowns, narrows its eyes, and cocks its head. What? You don't understand me? I thought aliens like you absorb human memories or skills or whatever when you eat them. You ate the Californian, so you can't speak English now? I have no idea if that's true or not. I saw it in some old sci-fi movie late at night. The alien keeps frowning, then shakes its head. It waves its good hand at me dismissively, turns, and walks away. I watch it limp over to the sheriff, step carefully over the body, then go inside the station.
In seconds, I see it tear open a bag of Doritos, and not a snack bag, but a party-sized bag. Then it's lost from sight. I scramble around to the driver's door and yank it open. Then I jump into the cruiser and pull the sun visor down. No keys. I search frantically, looking under the seats, checking in every nook and cranny, opening everything I can. Still no keys. My eyes dart to the sheriff's body. Fuck.
Hey, Sheriff Hansen, you there?
Tina's voice calls from the radio. I jump, catch my breath from the shock, then fumble for the handset.
Tina, it's Ike!
I say into the handset.
Ike? What the hell are you doing on the radio? This is for county law enforcement personnel only. Please keep this channel free for emergency and official use only.
Tina, I'm in the sheriff's cruiser.
I say, my eyes still on the corpse by the front of the station.
Sheriff Hansen is dead. That thing I called about, well, it's not a family of fucking raccoons.
What are you rambling about?
Tina asks, sounding bored.
Stop messing around, Ike. Put the sheriff on now, please. There's a report of a stolen bicycle out at Shady Shade Acres. I'm sure it's just a trailer trash spat, but you know how armed they are in that park. Best to send the sheriff out now and defuse the situation, so put him on.
Didn't you hear me?
I snap.
The sheriff is fucking dead! Dead! D-E-A-D! Dead!
Silence. Then Tina asks,
Like for real dead?
Like for real dead! He can't be more deader!
Oh,
the line turns to static for a second.
okay. I'll get EMTs out there right away.
She says quietly.
How'd it happen, Ike?
Then her voice turns to steel.
Did you kill the sheriff, Ike? If you did, now is the time to come clean. Confess what you did, and I'm sure Judge Vale will show you some mercy.
What? No! No, I didn't kill the sheriff!
I exclaim.
The thing did!
What thing? The fucking alien living in the trunk of that old beater that has been here at the station forever!
More silence.
Shit.
Tina finally says.
You're saying that what killed Sheriff Hansen came out of that old Volga?
No, not the Volvo we were working on.
I say.
It came out of that old car.
I didn't say Volvo. I said Volga.
Tina responds.
Pay attention, Ike. You are sure it came out of that car?
Yeah, it came out of that fucking car!
I shout.
And now that it's out, it has killed a Californian!
Yeah, you called me about that.
Tina interrupts me.
Yeah, I fucking know! Shut up and pay attention!
No need to be rude, Ike.
I'm not being rude. I need you to get Norman out here with every fucking gun the police station has. This son of a bitch is hard to kill, but it can be hurt.
Right, Norman.
Tina replies.
I'm not gonna call Norman. He'll just get himself hurt. And we need at least one Leo left after tonight.
Then call the state police! Call the National Guard! Call the fucking US Army! There's an alien killing people, and I do not want to be one of those dead people!
We all die sometime, Ike.
Tina says. And before I can protest with a, "What the fuck does that mean?" she keeps speaking.
I think I get what's going on now, and I know who to call.
Good!
I exclaim, then calm down a little. The alien is still inside, ransacking the place for more snacks. I hope the bastard gets diabetes and high blood pressure from all the junk it's eating. Calmly, I say,
Who's coming to help? The state police or what?
What? No, I can't call them.
Tina says.
This has to stay in-house like usual. Stay put, Ike. Help is on the way.
What help?
I ask. There's no answer.
Tina? What help?
The alien comes to the broken-in front door and looks out into the night. I duck down in the seat, and when its eyes sweep across the cruiser, I'm pretty sure it doesn't see me. Or if it does, it's more interested in eating the Funyuns it has in its hands than in killing me. I watch it closely as it stuffs its face with the crispy snacks. My belly growls, and I realize I haven't eaten in hours. Plus, my stomach is 100% empty after my puke sesh. And speaking of puking, it looks like the alien is having a bad reaction to the Funyuns. It clutches its midsection, then stares at the bag in its hand. It shakes its head and tosses the bag to the ground. Then it bends over and throws up. A cascade of multicolored vomit explodes from its mouth. Then stuff starts coming out of the other end. I watch in horror.
Then in seconds, the wind shifts, and I get a whiff of the hell that's been excreted all over the station's front entrance. "Oh God," I whisper, and jam my nose down into my shirt to get away from the rancid reek of the alien's innards. My empty stomach rebels, and I struggle not to start gagging. The smell is so bad. Worse than anything I've ever smelled in my life. It's like a dead armadillo has been stuffed up a dead cow's ass and the whole thing's lit on fire, then sprinkled with chili cheese dust. Finally, after several grueling minutes, the alien stops spewing from both ends, straightens up, wipes its mouth with the back of its hand, looks down at its feet, and picks up the Funyuns bag it had dropped. Then it tucks in and starts eating again. There's no way to stop the gagging, so I slide as far down as I can as I dry heave. My eyes water and my stomach and throat ache, but after a few seconds, I'm able to get it under control. Then I scream as I see the alien looking in at me from the passenger side window. The fucker is still eating Funyuns. It blinks at me and lifts a lip in a sneer. Then it reaches down and tries the door. Luckily, I locked it. It pulls a few times, hisses at me, then turns and walks off. I'm so dead. There's no way I'm getting out of this alive. The fucking alien is toying with me. It's playing some game, trying to lure me into a sense of safety or whatever. Then when I try to escape this cruiser, it'll be right on my ass and tear me to shreds. Headlights light up the parking lot and wash across the station building. I crane my neck and look over and see a black Land Cruiser pull past the Californian's car and stop just past the pumps. I know the Land Cruiser. It's Sergei's. Oh God, he's going to get killed! I can't start the cruiser, so I can't roll down the window to warn him off. And there's no way I'm opening the door. I like Sergei, I do, but I'm not dying for him. He gets out of the Land Cruiser, frowns at the front of the station, then turns and looks directly at me. He shakes his head and walks over. I'm terrified, ready for the alien to rush out of the store and attack him.
Roll it down,
Sergei says when he reaches the driver's window and knocks on it with one knuckle. I can't!
Then open the door,
he says, impatient. Sergei, you have to get back in your car, I say to him. It's not safe out here.
Oh? And why is that?
He asks, then looks up and over the cruiser at the gas station's front door and the horrors around it.
Because of Ivan? Ivan will not hurt me. He's my brother.
He takes a step back and gestures for me to get out. No fucking way, I say and shake my head over and over. Then I stop as Sergei's words sink in. Hold on. What did you say?
What do you mean? I say a lot of things,
Sergei responds. The thing about the alien being your brother.
Alien? You think Ivan is an alien?
He laughs hard, and I hear something clatter from inside the store. Sergei! It's coming! I yell. You have to get back in your car!
I'll do no such thing,
he says, and walks off. I watch him go around the cruiser, then approach the entrance. He navigates the sheriff's corpse and all the alien puke and alien shit, then is lost from sight as he goes inside the store. You fucking moron, I whisper. Then I look at his Land Cruiser. I know Sergei. He always leaves his keys in his car. With my eyes on the store, I open the cruiser's door and slowly, silently step out. I stay low, crouched down, so I'm even with the cruiser, my eyes still on the front entrance. Then I do a crouch walk sprint thing past the cruiser, around the pumps, and I'm at the Land Cruiser's driver's door. With as much restraint as I can muster, I keep from yanking the door open and instead barely crack it, slip my fingers through the crack, and ever so slowly get it wide enough that I can squeeze through and get into the driver's seat.
Hey!
Sergei yells from the front of the Land Cruiser, his palm slapping the hood.
What the fuck are you doing?
I stare and blink at him. He slaps the hood again and I jump.
Ike, what are you doing? Get out of my fucking car.
The alien, I hiss.
Shut up about the alien,
he says and rolls his eyes.
There is no alien. It's just Ivan.
What the fuck does that mean?
You don't listen,
he replies with a sigh.
That is Ivan. Ivan is my brother. He lives in the car. The car I told you to forget. Did you forget the car like you were asked to, Ike?
I shake my head no.
No, you did not forget the car like you were asked to,
he says and sighs again. Then he sweeps an arm toward the entrance.
Now look what happens.
people die. The place is a mess, and it's all your fault, Ike. My fault?
I shout.
That thing did all of this! Because you didn't listen,
He says if that settles it. Then he walks around to the door and opens it, pulling me out onto my feet.
I have told Ivan not to hurt you and to go back to his car.
Sergei says.
He loves that car. It's how I got him from Russia into the US. Only they hide him in the car. I mean, you look at him, and they never let him on a plane. Plus, he made messes in Russia too. Not his fault though. He's different. You think?
I snap, my eyes locked on the station.
Where is it? Not it.
Sergei says impatiently.
Ivan, my brother. Okay, where is Ivan, your brother?
I ask.
Because he needs to be put down. I pretend I not hear you, Ike.
Sergei says.
And do not worry about where Ivan is. He go back to his car. He'll be safe there like always.
He leans in close to me.
Unless some dumb shit does not listen and makes trouble again. Do you think a dumb shit is going to make trouble again? Am I the dumb shit? Yes, Ike. You are the dumb shit.
I swallow hard and look at the mess.
That thing is really your brother? Ivan. His name is Ivan, and yes, he is really my brother.
Sergei says, and claps me on the shoulder.
Are we good here, Ike? Can you promise me that you will forget that car? Man, I'll never forget that car.
I say.
But I sure won't fuck with it ever again. I quit. No, you don't.
Sergei says.
You will work here a long time, just like Denny. Once I know you will not rat Ivan and get him hurt, then we discuss your leaving A+. Do you understand? No.
I admit.
Am I a prisoner? Of course not,
He says and laughs.
I just need to trust that you will not rat out Ivan. So you stay on at A+. If you leave before I am convinced that you will not bring harm to my brother, then I will find you. It is what I used to do in Russia. I would find people. I would fix things. I would clean up messes and make it like they never happened.
Like this mess?
Like this mess.
He says and sighs again.
But what about the sheriff?
The sheriff was never here.
He says.
He stopped by the side of the road to take a piss and was attacked by a coyote. I'll make sure that is what it looks like.
And the Californian?
There are a lot of angry coyotes around here.
Sergei says with a shrug. He pats my shoulder once more.
Be best to get to work. You start cleaning, and I'll work on the bodies. We should be done before Denny gets here. Hopefully, no one pulls in to get gas tonight.
He checks his watch.
3 a.m. I doubt we will have customer before sunrise. But we must hurry.
Hurry and clean up the mess to cover for what your brother did.
I state.
No, Ike, to cover for what you did.
He says and laughs.
And do not worry, it will be covered up. Tina has already got a plan for how to tell the deputy and the judge. Norman will probably be sheriff until new election. Makes things a lot easier that way. Norman is an idiot.
Tina is in on this?
Tina helps me when I need help.
Sergei says and doesn't elaborate.
So what? We clean this up and act like it never happened?
Of course not,
he says.
This is learning lesson for you. I want you to always remember it.
Great,
I say, and take a deep breath, then wish I hadn't.
I want one thing though.
Do you?
Sergei replies with a laugh.
What is it, Ike?
I want the day shift.
I say and stand firm, my arms crossed.
If you want your brother safe, then I want off the graveyard shift.
I cannot do that, Ike. Danny already works the day shift. That is our deal.
What deal?
Sergei only smiles.
Does Denny know about Ivan?
I ask and gasp.
Yes,
Sergei says.
This is not the first mess. He worked graveyard until the day shift clerk made the same mistake you did. How do you think the position opened up for you?
Wait, what? I thought Brian moved away.
I say, and things fall into place.
I make messes go away,
Sergei says, then points at the biggest mess I've ever seen.
And now, you do too. So, make this mess go away.
Then he walks off and starts to head around the station. But he pauses when he reaches the corner.
Oh, and Ike,
he calls.
Yeah?
I say, stunned, shocked, and definitely not ready for the cleanup I'm about to embark on.
Did the wiring harness for Mrs. Knowles' Cadillac get replaced?
He asks.
No. Make sure that happens too.
He says, then is gone around the station.
Okay.
I say and return my attention to the mess.
I'll get right on that.
Then I get to work. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy these stories, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and check out some more of my episodes here.